Picture a university campus where every voice, every brilliant mind is understood, regardless of where they come from. It's not a utopian dream anymore. We're diving into how AI is creating this reality, transforming the international student experience, and forging a truly interconnected global learning environment. For international students, global education often clashes with language and cultural hurdles. An invisible wall creates isolation, with 42% reporting homesickness due to communication issues. Beyond words, cultural nuances hinder 75% in group discussions, and 30% experience GPA drops in their first semester. Enter AI's revolution. Tools like Google Meet's live captions and Zoom AI Companion offer instant audio and text translation in lectures and group work, boasting 95% accuracy. Welcome back to Mind Mastery, where we talk future-ready leadership, learning, and the humane design of technology. Today's episode asks a deceptively simple question: what happens when language stops being a barrier? With me is Dr. Elena Carruba, educator, author, and founder of Change Academy. Elena, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Bryan. Pleasure to be here. There's something sacred in the idea that a thought should be free to find its world. Language should be the bridge, not the moat.
Let's start blunt. International students arrive with enormous intellectual energy, ideas, lived experience, ambition, and then often they hit language friction. How severe is that problem, really?
It's structural. Imagine a brilliant apprentice whose hands are tied when the teacher speaks. That's what language friction does. It ties hands, it hides competence. We know the evidence: lower grades, higher dropout risk, social isolation. But beyond metrics, there's a moral loss, entire perspectives that never enter the classroom conversation. The question before us is whether technology will be a curtain or a key.
And AI is being pitched as the key: real-time translation, adaptive tutors, context-sensitive feedback. How far along is this field?
Rapidly along. We're no longer in the era of crude word-for-word substitution. Contemporary systems combine acoustic models, contextual embeddings, and generative frameworks that can preserve idiom, register, and even rhetorical structure. Think less broom and dustpan and more musical conductor. The AI listens, anticipates, and renders in real time a version of the speech that's meaningful in another linguistic frame. The trick, and this is crucial, is not merely translating words, but translating intention and cultural frame.
Translate intention. Can you give an on-campus example of that working well?
Picture a seminar on political economy, heated, dense, layered with cultural references. An international student, let's call her Layla, hesitates before speaking because the phrase she needs is in Arabic, not English. With a sensitive, real-time interface, she can deliver her argument in her mother tongue. The system renders the sense in English while keeping markers of rhetorical emphasis. Layla's peers read her idea and respond. The seminar's quality improves because the classroom now has access to a fuller set of cognitive resources. That's the practical gain.
There's an immediate pedagogical question. Do we risk students becoming dependent on translation tech and not learning the host language? Or is that a false trade-off?
It's a false opposition when we design wisely. Think of the AI as scaffold, not crutch. Vygotsky taught us about the zone of proximal development. Learners can do more with scaffolding than alone. AI becomes that scaffold, accelerating comprehension and engagement, while deliberate curricula continue to build host language competence. In fact, AI can personalize that very development, targeted microlessons, pronunciation feedback, grammar only where it matters for disciplinary discourse. The goal is bilingual or plurilingual competence, not bypass.
Speaking of personalization, adaptive learning sounds like a panacea, algorithms tailoring content to each student's gaps. But there's pushback, fairness, surveillance, opaque scoring. How do we square efficacy and ethics?
We must insist on 3 non-negotiables: transparency, consent, and pedagogical auditability. Transparent models mean students and educators can see what the system is optimizing for. Consent is obvious. Neural and linguistic data are intimate. Pedagogical auditability requires that the AI's recommendations are inspectable by teachers so they can verify or contest the path. Practically, institutions should adopt explainable AI modules and ensure a human in the loop. AI should recommend, teachers should validate.
Let's make this concrete. A student uses an AI tutor for academic writing. The tool suggests structural changes, vocabulary swaps, even cultural framing. Who owns that output? How do we maintain academic integrity?
Ownership and authorship become central policy questions. My recommendation is a layered authorship protocol. First, any AI contribution should be explicitly disclosed in draft metadata. Second, curricula should include AI literacy. Students learn how to use, critique and cite AI assistants. Third, assessment design must evolve. Shift from closed book, single language exams to multimodal assessment that values original thought, process, and critical reflection. In short, academic integrity shifts from policing to literate partnering with AI.
You mentioned cultural framing earlier. Machine translation sometimes erases cultural nuance, humor, irony, or rhetorical traditions. How can AI retain cultural richness rather than flatten everything?
2 points. 1. Models must be trained on diverse corpora that include non-Western rhetorics, oral traditions, and genres. That requires principled dataset curation, not scraping the web indiscriminately. 2. Interface design matters. Offer a cultural mode toggle that preserves source language markers, honorifics, rhetorical flourishes, and shows the user the original phrasing alongside the translation. That preserves voice, which is dignity. The AI becomes a cultural steward, not a cultural eraser.
Let's talk about peer-to-peer interaction. Classwork depends on group projects, informal chats, hallways. Can AI meaningfully support those social integrations?
Yes, and this is the social miracle. Translate is not just for lectures. Imagine synchronous group work where each participant sees transcripts and suggested prompts in their preferred language, plus micro-summaries that align group decisions. Or AI-mediated social nudges. If a student's participation drops, the system can nudge a tutor or a peer mentor to check in, thereby addressing loneliness. The goal is to convert translation from a solitary assist into a social glue.
There's a financial and access layer here. The best AI tools are often proprietary and expensive. Does this risk creating a two-tiered international student population?
It can, unless institutions act. Universities must treat translation and adaptive learning as core infrastructure, like libraries or disability services, and fund them centrally. Open source models, shared platform agreements, and consortium purchasing can reduce costs. Importantly, we must legislate inclusive access. Any student with documented need must have equitable access to translation tools at no direct cost.
What about assessment bias? Standardized tests and grading rubrics that privilege certain linguistic forms.
Time to rethink assessment. Standardized tests were built for scalability, not fairness. AI allows for richer assessment, scoring argument quality, reasoning, and conceptual command independent of accent or idiom. Rubrics can be made multilingual aware. Graders use translated utterances and scaffolded rubrics that separate language form from cognitive content. That said, these systems must be validated through careful psychometric work.
Move from policy to practice for a moment. If I'm a university provost listening now, what are the first 3 actions you'd insist on?
Step 1. Audit. Create an accessibility and inclusion audit for language. Map where students struggle. identify course bottlenecks, and quantify participation gaps. Step 2. Pilot. Fund a cross-department pilot with real-time translation in 3 high-enrollment courses and pair this with training for staff. Step 3. Governance. Institute an AI and data ethics committee including students, linguists, legal counsel, and technologists to set procurement, privacy, and usage rules.
Let's explore the human element. Some faculty fear AI will de-skill teaching or make them redundant. How do you reassure them?
Reframing is key. AI can take on routine tasks, transcription, initial feedback, freeing educators for the uniquely human work, mentoring, synthesizing, and valuing student voices. Imagine a professor spending more time in one-on-one coaching because AI handled first-pass formative feedback. Teaching becomes higher skill, more relational. We must invest in professional development so faculty move up the value curve rather than off it.
Final, forward-looking question. In 10 years, what does an equitable, AI-enhanced global campus look like?
It's a campus where every lecture, lab and corridor is accessible in multiple modalities, where AI tutors accelerate mastery without erasing culture, where assessments measure thinking more than accent, and where governance insulates students' dignity. Importantly, it's a campus that practices reciprocity. Domestic students learn from international peers and vice versa, and AI amplifies those exchanges rather than substituting for them. That future is possible if we act with curiosity, humility, and fierce ethical clarity.
Elena, this has been rich. Before we go, give our listeners one tactical takeaway they can act on tomorrow if they work in higher education.
Start a language equity roundtable. Bring together students, faculty, IT, and the legal office. Draft a one-page charter, opt-in access, transparency, training, and a pilot commitment. Small governance, big change.
Thank you, Dr. Elena Carruba. If you liked this episode, share it with a colleague who cares about inclusive education. Until next time, learn humanely, build wisely, lead with courage.
And keep the conversation alive. Language should unlock us, not limit us.
Let's empower the next generation of global leaders by leveraging AI to master emotional, AI, and social intelligence. Bye for now.